He kneels in front of her and the kids. "Come home with me." But she says, "Only if you still love me." Story points. He proves his love through action, not words. They move to a peaceful place together. The children call him Dad. For the first time. Final scene, family dinner, happy, together again. Message: love lost can return when the heart stays true. Would you like a script for part 1 next, written with hooks and basic English for voiceover or storytelling? Here is part 1. The night it all changed, written in third person with around 800 words, using basic English, emotional depth, and strong suspense in the first 5 to 7 minutes to hook the audience. Part 1. The night it all changed. It was a cold night. Rain fell like tears from the sky. The streets were almost empty, dark and silent. A black luxury car moved slowly through the wet roads. Inside sat a man, alone, serious, and silent. His name was Daniel Reed. Daniel was one of the richest men in the city. He owned big buildings, fancy hotels, and powerful companies. People feared him. He didn't smile much. He didn't trust anyone. His heart was full of money, but empty of love. That night, he wasn't driving to a business meeting. He was just driving with no direction. Something inside him felt strange, like a storm waiting to happen. As he passed a small public park, something caught his eye. A little boy, no older than 6, was sitting on a broken bench, shaking in the rain. He had no coat. His clothes were wet and thin. His small hands hugged his knees, trying to stay warm. Daniel stopped the car. He stared at the child through the rain-covered window. Why was this boy alone? Where were his parents? Something inside. Daniel moved, something he hadn't felt in years. He stepped out of the car, walking slowly towards the boy. "Hey," he said, his voice calm but firm. "Where is your mother?" The boy looked up. His eyes were big and full of fear. She's not waking up," the boy whispered. "She's sleeping over there." He pointed behind a tree. Daniel followed his finger, walking toward a small corner of the park. And then he saw her. A woman lying on the cold ground, her arms wrapped around a small bundle of clothes. She wasn't moving. He bent down, heart suddenly beating faster. 1 second, 2 seconds. Then her face turned slightly toward him, his eyes froze. His breath stopped. It was her. The woman he once loved. The woman he thought had died. Sophia. Her name rang in his head like an old song. She looked older now, tired and thin. Her face was pale, her lips dry. But he could never forget those eyes, even if they were closed. For a moment, the rain disappeared. The world around him became silent. He was no longer in the park. He was back in time, years ago, holding her hand, laughing in the sunlight, promising a future, talking about marriage, planning children, dreaming of forever. Then, one day, she was gone. No note, no call, no goodbye. He searched for her, for months. Then one day, someone told him she had died in an accident. That news had broken him. That day, Daniel had changed. He became hard, cold, focused only on success and money. But now, she was here. Not dead, not gone, but homeless, cold, and with a child. His mind raced. Was the child his? Was that why the boy looked a little like him? He shook her gently. "Sophia," he said, voice low. "Wake up." Her eyelids moved. Slowly, painfully, she opened her eyes. At first, she didn't see clearly, but when her gaze landed on him, her body stiffened. "You, Daniel?" she whispered. He nodded. Her lips trembled. I didn't want you to see me like this," she said. And then, her eyes rolled back, and she fainted in his arms. He caught her gently before her head hit the ground. The boy ran over. "Mom! Mom!" Daniel held her close. For the first time in years, his arms weren't empty, but they weren't holding money or success. They were holding pain, memory, and a mystery. He looked at the boy, then back at Sophia. He didn't understand. Why was she here? Why had she left? Why had she never told him she was alive? Why was she on the street? And was that little boy his son? The rain continued to fall, but Daniel didn't feel it anymore. The only thing he could feel now was his heart, finally beating again. He picked her up gently and walked toward the car. "Get in," he said to the boy. "I'll take care of her, I promise." The boy nodded and followed. As the car drove away into the night, one chapter ended and another began. A chapter full of secrets, pain, and love that never truly died. The hotel room was warm, soft, and quiet, very different from the cold street outside. Daniel had placed Sophia on the bed. The little boy sat on a chair beside her, holding her hand. Daniel stood near the window, staring at the rain. His thoughts were loud, confused, full of pain. Was this really happening? After so many years, the woman who once promised to spend forever with him was alive and homeless, with a child. His hands were shaking slightly. His heart, usually so cold and still, now beat with fire. Behind him he heard a soft voice. Where am I?" He turned around. Sophia was awake. She slowly sat up, her body weak, eyes still full of fear and confusion. Then she saw him. Her face froze. Her lips moved, but no words came. Daniel walked closer. "You're safe now," he said. She looked at him as if seeing a ghost. You shouldn't have helped me," he frowned. "Why not?" She looked down. "Because I don't deserve it." The room went quiet for a long second. Then Daniel spoke again. His voice was calm but heavy. "Why did you leave me?" Sophia didn't answer. He stepped closer. "I waited, I searched, you disappeared without a word. I was told you were dead." Her eyes filled with tears. She turned away from him. "I had no choice," she said. "What does that mean?" Daniel asked, anger and hurt in his voice. "You had no choice to say goodbye? To tell me the truth?" Her lips trembled. She looked at the boy. He had fallen asleep in the chair, still holding her hand. "I left because I had to protect you." "Protect me? From who?" Again silence. Daniel's hands formed fists. "You can't just say that and stop." Sophia slowly stood up and walked to the window. Her eyes looked out into the dark city. There were people, dangerous people. "They threatened me. They said if I didn't leave you, they'd destroy your life." Daniel's eyes narrowed. "Who were they?" "I can't say." "Why not?" "Because they're still watching." Daniel stepped back, shocked. "Still?" She nodded. "I tried to stay hidden all these years, but life wasn't kind. I ended up on the street, with my son." Daniel looked at her. "Is he my son?" She didn't speak for a moment, then nodded slowly. "Yes. His name is Leo." Daniel's knees felt weak. He sat down, holding his head. All these years, he had a son. All these years she had suffered, alone. But why? "Who did this to you?" he asked again. Sophia didn't answer, but a single tear rolled down her cheek. Flashback. 8 years. They were young, happy, and deeply in love. Daniel had just started his first company. Sophia supported him, believed in him. They talked about marriage, children, and buying a house. One night, Sophia received a phone call. It was a voice she knew, a dangerous voice from her past. Someone who had power, money, and no soul. He said, "Leave Daniel, tonight, or he dies. Tomorrow." She didn't believe it at first. But when she saw a photo of Daniel's car followed by 2 black vehicles, she knew it was real. She packed a bag, left a letter for Daniel, and ran. She never knew the letter was stolen before he could. Read it. Back to present. Daniel stared at Sophia. "I never got your letter," he said softly. Her head turned sharply. "What?" "I never knew. I thought you just left me." Sophia sat down beside him. "I'm so sorry, Daniel." He nodded slowly. "And you were pregnant when you left?" "Yes. I found out just days before." His eyes moved to the sleeping boy, Leo. He had his mother's eyes. But the jawline, that was Daniel's. Sophia continued, I moved to another city. I worked small jobs. But when Leo got sick, I couldn't pay the hospital. I lost everything. Daniel's heart broke piece by piece. She had carried this pain alone for 8 years, and he never knew. I want to help you now, he said firmly. No, Sophia said quickly. If they see you near us, they'll come again. I'm not afraid, Daniel said. You should be. They're powerful. Daniel stood up. So am I now. I have resources. I have people. I will find them. Sophia grabbed his hand. Please don't bring danger to Leo. Daniel looked at her. I already lost you once, he said. I won't lose my son too. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. Again, but this time she didn't look away. Daniel walked over to Leo and gently picked him up. He's sleeping peacefully, he whispered. He deserves more than a park bench. Sophia nodded. Daniel turned to her. You and Leo will stay here, he said. I'll arrange everything, food, clothes, safety. Sophia hesitated. Only for a few days, then we'll go. Daniel didn't argue. But in his heart, he had already made a plan. He would protect them. He would learn the full truth. And he would bring justice to whoever stole his past, even if it meant going into war with powerful enemies. As Sophia fell asleep again, Daniel stepped out into the hallway, pulled out his phone, and made a call. Find out everything about Sophia Carter in the last 8 years. Quietly. Yes, sir, a voice answered. He ended the call. His eyes were cold again. But this time, not from emptiness. This time, it was from purpose. It was morning now. The sun touched the windows of the hotel room, but inside everything was still quiet. Daniel sat on the sofa, staring at Leo. The boy was drawing on a hotel notepad with a pen. Small hands, messy lines, simple shapes. But something in those eyes caught Daniel's heart. Leo looked peaceful. He had no idea about the pain behind his mother's silence. Sophia was still resting. Her body was weak, but her mind, it was running with fear. Fear of the past. Fear of Daniel. Finding out everything. Daniel looked at Leo and asked, Do you like drawing? Leo smiled. Yes, Mama says I draw monsters and superheroes. Daniel chuckled softly. Which one am I? Leo looked at him carefully. You look like a superhero, but your eyes are a little sad. Daniel froze for a second. No one had ever said that to him, not even adults. He nodded. Maybe I lost something important. Leo tilted his head. Then go find it. The words hit Daniel harder than he expected. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, Daniel's private investigator, Mr. Carter, was digging through records. He looked at hospital files, employment history, apartment rentals, everything connected to Sophia Carter over the last 8 years. But the deeper he went, the darker the trail became. Fake names, unpaid hospital bills, a private clinic that refused to speak, and one name kept appearing in secret reports, Marcus Hale. Daniel's phone buzzed. He stepped into the hallway and picked up. Sir, the investigator said, there's someone you need to know about. Who? Marcus Hale, wealthy, dangerous, had connections to Sophia's family years ago. Daniel's eyes narrowed. Keep digging, quietly. Yes, sir. Daniel put the phone away. He turned to go back in, but paused outside the hotel room door. Sophia was awake now, sitting by the window. He watched her through the glass for a moment. She looked lost, like someone waiting for a storm to end. Inside the room, Daniel walked. So you look better. Sophia nodded. Thank you for everything. Daniel sat across from her. Do you remember Marcus Hale? Her face turned pale instantly. Why are you asking about him? She asked quietly. I need to know everything. She looked down. He was my stepfather's business partner. Rich, controlling, dangerous. After my mother died, he tried to control me too. Daniel's jaw tightened. Did he hurt you? She nodded once, eyes wet. I told you I left to protect you. Marcus said if I stayed with you, he'd destroy you. And me. Why you? Daniel asked. Why was he so obsessed with you? Sophia looked away. Because my stepfather owed him money, a lot. He offered me instead. Daniel's fists clenched. That's human trafficking. Yes, she whispered. But no one would believe me. So I ran. Daniel's voice was low and calm now, but fire burned inside. And all these years you were hiding from him? Sophia nodded again. I thought he forgot me, but 2 years ago he found me again. Daniel stood up. Why didn't you come to me then? I didn't want you involved. He has people. He watches, follows. He hurt my friend once. Just because she helped me. Daniel took a deep breath. You don't need to run anymore, not while I'm here. Sophia touched his arm. He's not like normal people, Daniel. He's rich and dangerous. So am I, Daniel said. But I don't hurt people. I protect them, especially the ones I love. Sophia looked into his eyes. She saw something there she hadn't seen in years. Truth and care. Later that day, Daniel took Leo to a nearby cafe for juice and snacks. Sophia needed rest and Daniel needed time with the boy. Leo laughed as he bit into a muffin. This is the best food I ever had. Daniel smiled. There's more where that came from. Can I ask something? Leo said. Of course. You besides my dad? Daniel didn't know what to say. His throat tightened. Leo looked at him seriously. Mama never says anything, but I saw your picture once in her old box. She used to cry looking at it. Daniel gently placed his hand on Leo's shoulder. Yes, he said softly. I think I am. Leo smiled wide, then leaned forward and whispered, I always wanted a dad. Daniel nodded. And I always wanted a son. That night, Daniel's investigator called again. Marcus Hale is hiding something bigger, sir. What do you mean? He owns a chain of clinics used for illegal activities. Sophia once worked at one. There's a file with her name on it, but it's locked in his private office. Daniel's voice was firm. Get me that file, legally if possible. Otherwise, yes, sir. Back in the hotel room, Sophia and Daniel sat together while Leo slept in the next room. Do you hate me? She asked suddenly. Daniel looked surprised. Why would I? I left you. I never gave you the chance to fight for us. Daniel shook his head. You were just trying to survive. I understand now. A soft silence filled the room. Sophia looked at him. Can I trust you? With your life, Daniel said. Sophia leaned her head on his shoulder. I'm tired of running. Then stop, Daniel whispered. Let me carry you forward. Final scene in a black car across the street, a man sat watching the hotel. He held a phone to his ear. She's with him, he said. The voice on the other end replied. Then make sure she regrets it. The man lit a cigarette. Tomorrow, night, I'll send a message. The city lights blinked like stars in the night sky. Inside the hotel room, Daniel sat alone at the edge of the bed. Sophia and Leo were asleep in the other room. But Daniel could not close his eyes. His mind was burning. That name, Marcus Hale, kept echoing in his head like a warning bell. How could a man control someone's life so completely? Why hadn't Sophia told him sooner? And what else was she hiding? A knock in the night. There was a quiet knock at the door. Daniel stood quickly, alert. He opened the door slightly. It was Mr. Carter, his private investigator. I have something, he whispered. You need to see this. Daniel followed him down the hallway into a private lounge area. Mr. Carter placed a small brown envelope on the table. What is it? Daniel asked. An old letter. It was meant for you 8 years ago. Daniel's eyes widened. He opened the envelope carefully. The paper was soft, old, folded many times. And then he saw the handwriting. Sophia's. His hands shook slightly as he read the words. Daniel, if you're reading this, I'm already gone. I never wanted to leave, but I have to protect you. There are people watching us, dangerous people. They said they'd destroy your life if I stayed. I love you, and I always will. Forgive me. Sophia. Daniel stared at the letter in silence. His throat tightened. So it was true. Everything she had told him. She had tried to say it before. But how did you find this? Daniel asked. Mr. Carter sighed. It was in the hands of Marcus Hale's assistant. He stole it before it ever reached you. Daniel's jaw clenched. He didn't just destroy my past, he tried to erase the truth. The trap back in the hotel. Sophia was dreaming, but the dream turned into a nightmare. She saw Marcus. He was chasing her, grabbing her arm, tearing Leo away. She woke up sweating, gasping for air. Suddenly glass broke. A brick had crashed through the hotel window. Sophia screamed. Daniel and Mr. Carter rushed into the room. There was a note tied to the brick. Daniel picked it up. Leave now, or lose everything again. Daniel's face turned to stone. Sophia held Leo tightly, her hands shaking. He found us. Mr. Carter nodded. It's a warning, but we can turn it into a trap. The plan. Daniel turned to Mr. Carter. We'll fake leaving. Make Marcus believe we ran. Sophia looked confused. But where will we go? Daniel smiled slightly. Somewhere safe. Somewhere only I know. He called his assistant and booked a private villa outside the city, one with high security. Then he contacted an old friend in law enforcement. I have proof, but I need protection for her and my son. A new place, but old pain. The next day, Daniel drove Sophia and Leo to the villa. It was beautiful, surrounded by trees, birds, and silence. But inside, Sophia's heart still felt heavy. She stood on the balcony, holding the old letter Daniel had read. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Why now? She whispered to herself. Why is the past chasing us again? Daniel walked up behind her. Because the past isn't finished with us. Sophia turned. You should hate me. I kept your son from you. Daniel shook his head. You were just trying to survive. She looked at him with soft eyes. You're still the same. Kind, strong. He smiled. And you're still the woman I waited for. Their hands touched. For the first time in years, something like peace began to grow between them. Meanwhile, Mr. Carter followed a new lead. A delivery man had been paid to throw the brick. He was scared, but he gave a name. Marcus Hale's new fixer, Brent Vaughn. Track him, Daniel said. I want everything. A shocking discovery later that evening. Mr. Carter returned with files and photos. Daniel and Sophia sat at the table reading every page. And then, one document changed everything. It was a birth certificate, Leo's. But instead of Daniel's name, the father was listed as unknown. Daniel frowned. Why? Sophia looked down. They made me do it. The hospital said if I listed your name, Marcus would find me faster. Daniel placed his hand over hers. That ends now. I'll give him my name. He deserves it. Sophia looked at him. He already has your heart. Last scene. The enemy moves in a dark office. Marcus Hale sat at a desk smoking a cigar. Brent walked in. They moved to a villa, but it's well guarded. Marcus smiled coldly. I don't need to find them, he said. They'll come. To me, when I take the boy. Brent looked confused. You want to kidnap the kid? Marcus lit another match. Sometimes, to break a mother, you steal her reason to live. The sun was rising behind the trees. A soft wind passed through the leaves outside the villa. Inside, things were finally feeling calm. Daniel was making breakfast. Sophia was helping Leo put on clean clothes. They looked like a normal family. For the first time in years, Sophia smiled while brushing her son's hair. Leo laughed. Mama, you tickled my ear. Daniel walked in holding a plate. Who's ready for pancakes? Leo raised his hand and shouted, Me! They sat together. At the table, it felt like something new was starting, something safe, warm, real, but peace. Doesn't last long when a monster is watching. The distraction that afternoon, a delivery van stopped outside the villa gate. The driver rang the bell. Daniel stepped out with one of the guards. Yes? He asked. Delivery for Mr. Carter. The driver said. Special security equipment. Daniel frowned. I didn't order anything today. Check inside, sir, the driver said, smiling. The guard opened the van's back doors. There were 2 large boxes. One of them beeped suddenly. Boom! Smoke exploded from the van. Daniel shouted, "Everyone inside, get Sophia and Leo!" But the smoke was too thick. In just seconds, the guards started coughing and falling to their knees. Daniel ran through the smoke. He could barely see. Sophia! Leo! The worst fear comes true. Inside the villa, Sophia heard the blast. She grabbed Leo and ran toward the door. But 2 men in black masks were already inside. One grabbed her. She screamed, "Leo! Run!" Leo ran toward the hallway, but the second man caught him and covered his mouth. "No!" Sophia cried. The first man pushed her back hard. She hit the wall and fell. Before she could get up, the men were gone, vanishing through the smoke with Leo. Daniel crashed through the front door. "Sophia!" She was crying, crawling to her feet. "They took him," she whispered. "They took our son." Daniel's heart stopped. No. He ran out into the smoke. The van was gone. Leo was gone. Hours later, the police came. Security footage was checked. The delivery van had fake plates, no fingerprints, no tracks, no clue where they went. Sophia sat on the couch, rocking back and forth. I couldn't save him. Daniel stood by the window. His hands were shaking with rage. He whispered, "He took my son." A voice from the past. That night, Daniel got a call, unknown number. He picked it up. A voice said, "Your son is safe, for now." Daniel clenched his jaw. "Marcus Hale," Marcus laughed. "I warned you, but you didn't listen. Now you'll learn what loss feels like. If you touch him—" "Oh, don't worry," Marcus interrupted. "I won't hurt. I just want Sophia to remember who's in control." "What do you want?" Daniel asked. Marcus said calmly, "Tell Sophia to come to me alone or the boy disappears forever." The line went dead. Daniel stared at the phone in silence. Breaking point, he walked back into the room. Sophia looked up. Her face was pale. Her eyes empty. "It was him, wasn't it?" she asked. Daniel nodded. "What did he say?" Daniel didn't answer. She stood up. "Tell me." Daniel finally spoke. "He wants you, alone." Sophia didn't blink. "Then I'll go." Daniel grabbed her shoulders. "No, that's what he wants. He'll kill you." Sophia looked him in the eyes. "I'm a mother, Daniel. I don't care what happens to me. I just want Leo back." Daniel was shaking. "Then we'll go together. We'll make a plan." Sophia nodded slowly. "We only get one chance." The hidden location Mr. Carter arrived with new information. We tracked a warehouse outside the city, old Hale Industries property. It was abandoned 5 years ago, but the power was turned back on 2 days ago. Daniel looked at Sophia. "That's where he is." Mr. Carter nodded. "I can send a team in." Daniel shook his head. "No, that's what Marcus expects." Sophia whispered, "Then let me go. I'll distract him." Daniel looked at her, then back at the map. "No," he said. "We'll do it my way." The plan, they would make it look like Sophia was coming alone. A GPS tracker would be hidden in her necklace. Mr. Carter's people would watch from a distance. Daniel would sneak in through the back while Marcus focused on Sophia. One signal, and they'd move. Sophia looked nervous. "What if he sees through it?" Daniel held her hand. "He won't. Because you'll play the part perfectly." She nodded. "I've been pretending for 8 years. I can do one more act." Final scene. The warehouse. Sophia stepped inside the cold, dark warehouse. Her footsteps echoed. "Hello?" she called. From the shadows, Marcus stepped out. Well, he said. "You actually came." "I want my son," Sophia said firmly. Marcus smiled. "You'll get him, after we talk." From the shadows behind him, Leo's tiny voice cried, "Mama!" Sophia's eyes filled with tears. "Let him go, Marcus." He raised a hand. "Not yet. First, I want to know something." He leaned close. "Did you ever stop loving me?" Sophia looked straight into his eyes. "I never loved you, and I never feared you, not anymore." Just then, she touched her necklace. Signal sent. Outside, Daniel moved. Inside, Marcus's smile disappeared. "You shouldn't have done that," he said. Sophia backed away. "You took everything from me, now I take it back." Marcus shouted, "Get the boy!" But it was too late. The doors burst open. Daniel charged in, gun drawn. Guards tackled. And in one swift move, Daniel reached Leo and held him tight. Sophia ran to them. Marcus stood still, surrounded now. Daniel walked up to him. "You stole my past," Daniel said. "You won't steal my future." The courtroom was silent. Every seat was filled. Reporters, police officers, even former employees of Hale Industries had come. But the one man everyone was watching sat alone at the defense table. Marcus Hale, the powerful businessman who once controlled everything, now in handcuffs. Across all, the room sat Daniel, dressed in a dark suit holding Leo's tiny hand. And beside them, Sophia, her face strong, but her eyes full of quiet pain. This wasn't just a trial. It was the fight for truth, family, and freedom. 5 days earlier. After Leo was rescued, the police had moved fast. Mr. Carter handed over all the files he had gathered over the years. Hidden bank accounts, threats, stolen documents, the letter from Sophia. Daniel gave a public statement exposing Marcus Hale's crimes and how he used power to silence and control. The media exploded. Headlines read, "Business tycoon accused of kidnapping child and blackmail. Mother reunites with son after 8 years of fear." Still, Marcus refused to say anything, not a word, until the court date was set. Day 1 in court, the judge entered. Everyone stood. Then silence. "Mr. Hale," the judge said, "you face charges of kidnapping, blackmail, destruction of personal property, and conspiracy. How do you plead?" Marcus stood slowly. He looked around the courtroom, calm, cold. "Not guilty," he said with a smirk. Gasps filled the room. Sophia gripped the edge of her chair. The judge nodded. "Then let the trial begin." The evidence. The prosecutor was strong. One by one, the evidence was shown. Video of the fake delivery van used to take Leo bank records, proving Marcus paid criminals for the attack. The stolen letter from Sophia. Finally returned old emails threatening Daniel's companies years ago. Then Sophia took the stand. Sophia speaks, she stood before the court, holding the truth like a heavy stone. "I met Marcus when I was 19, she began. He seemed kind, but slowly he started changing. He didn't want me to speak to friends. He controlled where I went, who I saw." Her voice cracked slightly. "Then I met Daniel. He was kind. He saw me. He respected me. I fell in love." She looked toward Daniel, then back at Marcus. "That's when Marcus became dangerous. He threatened to destroy Daniel if I didn't leave. I ran, and I never stopped running." Tears formed in her eyes. "I kept the truth from Daniel because I was scared. I lived with fear for 8 years, but I won't be afraid anymore." The courtroom was silent. Even the judge leaned forward slightly. A surprise witness. Just when things seemed to be in their favor, Marcus's lawyer stood. "We call Dr. Ellis to the stand." Everyone turned. A tall man in a white coat walked forward. He was a psychiatrist. He said, "Mr. Hale has been under extreme emotional pressure for years. He was abandoned by his parents as a child. His behavior is not criminal. It's the result of untreated trauma." The jury listened. Sophia shook her head. Daniel whispered, "They're trying to make him look like a victim." But the judge allowed the testimony, and for a moment, it worked. Some jurors looked unsure. The forgotten letter. That night, Daniel sat in his hotel room staring at the letter Sophia had written years ago. He read it again, and again. Then something caught his eye, a small marking at the bottom. It wasn't just a signature. It was the name of the nurse who helped Sophia give birth. Daniel called Mr. Carter. "Find her," he said. "She might know something." Dimwit 2. A new truth. The next morning, the nurse was found, Ms. Raina Thomas. She agreed to testify. She took the stand and told the court, "I was the nurse on duty when Sophia gave birth. She was terrified. She kept asking me to hide the father's name on the birth certificate. Why? Asked the prosecutor. She said the baby's real father was a man she loved, but someone powerful was after her. She said she was trying to protect both of them. Who was the father? The prosecutor asked. Ms. Thomas looked directly at Daniel. Him. Gasps again filled the room. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. Sophia sat frozen. Now the whole world knew. Leo was Daniel's son. Legally, truthfully, fully. Marcus. Finally speaks. Suddenly, Marcus stood up. I want to speak, he said. His lawyer tried to stop him. The judge hesitated. Let him, Daniel said. The judge nodded. One warning, Mr. Hale. Marcus walked to the stand. He looked tired, empty. I lost, he said quietly. I thought I could control love. I thought fear would make her stay. He looked at Sophia. I didn't.